On April 15, 2018, Lee Correctional Institution in South Carolina erupted into chaos. What began as a fight over contraband cell phones turned into the deadliest U.S. prison riot in 25 years. 7 inmates lost their lives, dozens were injured, and the world saw what happens when technology meets desperation behind bars. Screams echoed down the dark corridor. Flames glowed through the bars. 2 inmates fought over a cell phone, but within seconds, dozens joined in. Blood on concrete. Radios crackling. No guards in sight. Alarms blared. The power flickered. From the towers above, guards shouted into radios. "This is a full-scale riot," one voice cried. Inside, men barricaded doors with bunks and lockers. Others dragged injured inmates through the dark. It wasn't about phones anymore. It was about survival. Weeks before, 2 rival gangs argued over cell phone profits. "Those calls are mine," one said. "Not anymore," the other replied, and the feud began. Contraband phones brought power, money, and reach. Some inmates ran scams. Others ran orders. Lee Prison had become a digital empire behind bars. Staff knew something was coming. Rumors of a hit list spread, but orders were simple. No extra staff. Budgets tight. That night, most officers stayed outside the dorms. Inmates from one unit rushed another through a broken door. Metal pipes clashed. Sparks flew. The war over cell phones had begun. Guards sealed themselves in the control room, calling for help. "Too dangerous to enter," dispatch said. They watched helplessly as cameras showed fire spreading. Inmates took keys from a fallen guard. Doors opened. Cell blocks merged. Now hundreds were free inside Lee. But none could leave. Through the smoke, one voice shouted, "Lockdowns failed." "They're heading toward Bravo Unit." A figure holding a phone stood at the far end, streaming the chaos live. Flames climbed the cell block walls as prisoners threw sheets soaked in oil. Smoke choked the air. Alarms wailed nonstop. No one inside had control anymore. Behind locked doors, a handful of guards held radios tight. "We can't get in," one said, voice shaking. "They'll kill us if we try." Inmates kicked open the metal door between units. Dozens rushed through shouting, "Bravo's ours now." The riot had doubled in size. One inmate lifted his cell phone, streaming live. "Look at this. Lee is burning," he yelled. The footage hit social media within minutes. Outside, officials gathered around screens. "Seal the perimeter," ordered the warden. "No one goes in without armor." Spotlights swept across the compound. From above, it looked like a war zone. Fires in 3 blocks, shadows running between them. Men hid in corners clutching shanks made from pipes. One whispered, "They're coming for us next." Fear had replaced fury. A senior officer tried the loudspeaker. "Lay down your weapons, and we will help the injured." No reply, just echoing screams. Inmates dragged the wounded to the cafeteria. Someone yelled, "We need towels," then realized the med room was locked. 2 gang heads faced each other in the hallway. "Call it off," one said. "Not until they see what we can do," the other replied. Outside gates opened. Armored officers advanced. "Shields up." "Move!" shouted the captain. They entered the smoke. Rubber bullets cracked. Tear gas hissed. Men coughed, scattered, slipped on wet concrete. It was chaos layered on chaos. A gas canister ignited a mattress fire near Delta Wing. Flames roared back toward the officers. They fell back coughing. From inside, a sheet waved through a window. "Help the injured." Even the fighters wanted it over. "We go in now," said the warden. "Gas and tasers only." No one argued. White clouds rolled through the corridors. Coughs and shouts echoed as visibility vanished. After 7 hours, the noise faded. Only dripping pipes and distant sirens remained. Officers moved cell to cell, counting. 7 men lay dead, dozens injured. The warden whispered, 7 for 7 hours. By morning, news helicopters buzzed above. Reporters called it the worst riot in 25 years. As investigators entered the yard, a technician picked up a burned cell phone still recording. On the screen was a live feed. Someone inside was still watching. Smoke still hung over Lee Correctional as the sun rose. Helicopters circled the blackened yard. Silence had replaced screams. Inside, officers moved body bags down the corridors. Water dripped from burst pipes, echoing like a clock ticking in the quiet. One inmate sat against the wall, staring blankly. "They were my friends yesterday," he whispered. Investigators collected shanks, phones, and burnt clothing. Each item told a piece of the story. That afternoon, cameras flashed. Officials stood before microphones. This tragedy was fueled by contraband cell phones. One said, South Carolina's governor spoke firmly. "We will stop illegal phones entering our prisons, no matter the cost." Outside the walls, families held each other. Some cried. Some demanded answers. "Was my son alive or dead?" one woman asked. Weeks later, investigators confirmed what inmates already knew. Help came 7 hours too late. Some blamed the gangs. Some blamed the phones. Others blamed the system that ignored warnings. A leaked report revealed only 4 guards were on duty in that unit. The truth was worse than rumors. Months later, high-tech phone jamming towers rose around the prison. But inside, inmates found new ways to connect. Contraband cell phones kept coming, hidden in mail, in shoes, even in bread. The war never really ended. An inmate later said in an interview, "It wasn't about phones. It was about being forgotten." One correctional officer admitted, "We were outnumbered from the start. It was just a matter of when." Candles flickered outside the prison gates. Names of the 7 dead were read aloud. For a moment, the yard was quiet again. A reporter asked a survivor, "What would you say to the world?" He paused and said, "Listen to us before it's too late." A final title fades in. April 15th, 2018. 7 men lost their lives. Lee Correctional Institution remains one of America's most dangerous prisons. The Cellphone War, Lee Prison Riot, 2018. Subscribe for more true stories of real prison escapes and uprisings.